wholesaling real estate in 5 simple steps. Okay, now you can also call this 5 simple stages. You can also call this 5 key Hey my friend, this is Ola coming to you live from my Empire Pro studios. I am the author of Smart Real Estate Wholesaling and the creator of 11dayschallenge.com and myEmpirePRO.com. Just wanted to come back here and really share something that I think is very, very important for you here. I want to share with you wholesaling real estate in 5 simple steps. Okay, now you can also call this 5 simple stages. You can also call this 5 key performance indicator stages, right? Essentially what this means is that if you're not, like, everybody is crying wolf, I can't close the deal, I tried this, I tried to do this, I'm not getting deals. But deals is the end. That's like the result, right? And clearly, if anything is worthwhile in life, you have to work. It will take some work. And the work is what makes it worth it, right? Because if it was easy, everyone else would be doing it. So easy and hard and difficult, and those things are not relevant in business. The only thing I can tell you is that it's a very simple business, and if you keep things simple, success is absolutely yours. However, you have to be consistent. So everything I'm about to share with you right now, you could get it completely 100% correct the first time, second time. If you're not consistent with doing it, it's a failure, right? And you can't call it truth unless you can do it over and over again. So what I'm going to share with you right now is 5 stages, but you have to do it over and over and over again, meaning you have to show up every time, you have to be consistent. Once you start closing deals, it gets easier. But your closing deals is the very end of the 5 stages, okay? So with that being said, what is the first stage in wholesaling real estate? The first stage is data. Data. We have a whole chapter on it in this book, and it's free, by the way, at smartrealestatewholesaling.com. You know, you need to really start thinking and start really understanding that you live in a digital age. So when I say data, I know that sounds engineering, sounds crazy, sounds all over the place. Like, are you trying to tell me I have to become a data scientist? No, I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you that you need data, okay? You need to collect data. Now, some people will choose to collect that data by driving around town. They call it driving for dollars. I don't recommend that. That's the worst and the most expensive way to do it. But all you're doing driving for dollars is collecting data, okay? That's essentially the most cheapest, most amateurish way to do it. There's a professional way to do it. There's the right way to do it. It takes very little time. It's extremely cheap, and it's cheaper than driving for dollars. That we'll talk about that on the other end. However, data is the first stage. So you cannot claim you're not closing deals unless you're collecting data. That's stage number 1. Stage number 2. Stage number 2 is leads, okay? By the way, you can get this book at smartrealestatewholesaling.com, and you can get this one as well, real estate, for free, PDF download. Stage number 2 is leads, okay? Not leads, sorry. Stage number 2 is contacts. So data will come basically with addresses of properties of distressed homeowners. Part of data is to also analyze, and then you collect it, and then you collect certain type of data. You ever heard the gurus tell you sometimes, oh, you need divorce, you need probate, you need all of that. All of that is under data. You will pick what kind of data you want, and then you contact them. How do you contact them? Well, you find their contact information, and then you reach out to them. You can use postcards, you can use SMS text messaging, you can use RVM. Okay, it's not my favorite. You can use email, but you have to find their contact information and then contact them. So the second stage is contact. The third stage does not happen unless you get data and contact right. The third stage is called leads. Lead generation. Lead generation is essentially happens when people respond to all of that activity, right? When they say, yes, I have a house that I need to sell, When they say, yes, I have a house that I need to sell, that they actually open like that without you having to beg them, right? Then you have leads that has just been generated. That's the third stage. The third stage happens because you negotiate with those people. You need to negotiate a deep discount. Minimum 30% off the after repair value. You don't know how to calculate after repair value? Just go to dealestimator.com. You will learn everything about after repair value. But basically, you need 70%, minimum of 70% of the after repair value. If the property was worth $100,000 after it's been fixed up, you need to start your negotiations from 70%, and then whatever it's going to take to repair the property, you need to take it out of that as well. That's negotiations, and once you agree on the price, you lock in the next stage, which is the fourth stage, contract. And then you have a contract. Once you have a contract, that contract gives you what they call equitable interest in the property. That equitable interest is essentially your right to purchase that property within a period of time. You can do whatever you want with that right. You can sell it, you can assign it, you can give it to other people, right? As long as your contract allows that, then you assign it to an end buyer or a cash buyer, a real estate investor who wants to pick up that property, fix it and put it back on the market for sale, or fix it and rent it out to other people. You're bringing massive value into the marketplace by finding these deals. You find discounted properties. You make money for the investors when you actually negotiate the deal. You lock up a contract, which is the fourth stage. If you don't take care of the first four stages, don't worry about the deals, because it's never going to happen. Does that make sense? So the only way to have a deal is to say, I've taken care of data. Massive number, right? Very easy, cheap. Contacts, simple, cheap. Contact people, talk to people, negotiate with them, right? Generate leads. Once you generate leads, the third stage, you negotiate with them, you lock up a contract, you assign that contract to a cash buyer or real estate investor, somebody, a willing and able investor who can buy the property. They pay for the property and then they pay you a nice, handsome fee. My personal experience, highest I've ever made is $82,000 from one deal. Just for assigning the deal. I didn't have to fix it. I didn't have to flip it. Nothing. They took it out of my hands and gave me $82,000. Of course, that whole process is just systemic. It's a simple system, and all it was just stage by stage. I followed it. I made calls when it was necessary, made it happen. It was simple, but I did it in multiples, not just one deal. Because remember, data. I collect data of all the properties potentially in distress of ownership, right? And I contact them. I generate leads. I lock it under contracts. I close deals. It's as simple as that. Okay. Now, with that being said, you need a pipeline. You need to do that in the form of a pipeline. If that's why you're here, go to smartrealestatewholesaling.com and get this book. It's absolutely free. And if you go there right now, I'll give you real estate money secrets absolutely for free as well. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I will see you on the next one, and peace.